Guys, I have a question for you.
Ask a question.
When you're walking down the street and you like see maybe some discarded, well, let's be honest, it's discarded food, right? But it's not in an open container. It's apparently in its packaging. How tempted have you been to just sort of just fucking dive in and just like grab that bad boy off the street?
I've been tempted. I mean, I wouldn't. I guess you mean not just in its packaging, but like closed. Like if I saw fast food, if I saw a perfectly good whole portion of medium fries in a bag on the street, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole. But
okay,
yeah, like closed stuff. I think I have done when I was perhaps a bit more reckless and younger. I'm pretty sure I once picked up a Starburst that was wrapped. It was just on a wall. It was like a red one. I was like, I'm not missing a red one. It does sound like, I mean, yeah, that's like exactly what you're taught at school not to do.
But it is sweets, so how can you say?
But it is sweets, so if it was a wrapped broccoli,
it is sweet.
I wouldn't have taken it.
Don't get into the unmarked van unless it's a red Starburst, and then you know what? All bets are off.
Yeah,
fuck it,
that's right.
It's worth it.
Head first. I only
little boy, I've got puppies in here, and I've got ice cream. Not interested. But look at these. This is sweets.
You have the sweets.
Well, now I'm
now gay. You should have said
single Starburst. Count me in.
Rappers on.
One grubby Starburst, and Peter Austin died in childhood because he couldn't resist. I only asked because I was walking down the street today, actually, and I saw something glittering up ahead, and I was like, "Is that money?" And then I got closer, and I asked myself, "Is that a Quality Street blowing in the wind?" And it was like a purple, you know, the purple one.
Wow.
And I really thought about it. I was so tempted, but I didn't do it because I am nearly 30.
Yeah, but very, very nearly 30.
It did occur to me that maybe there have been, like, I've picked up a whole pack of cigarettes off the floor that have been run over and squished by a car.
Oh no, that's pretty desperate.
Yeah,
sorry to say.
You know what? That was 6 years ago. It wasn't even that long ago.
Squished by a car.
I remember trying to smoke them. And they're all snapped and rubbish.
These floppy,
they just don't
cigarettes.
let air through.
But they were free, so you know.
Dearie me.
What about you, Mikey? Have you ever gone for some floor foraging?
Not recently. I'm quite, I think with food, for some reason, I'm quite an anxious eater in the sense that, like, if anything's even like a little bit off, I'm not going near that thing.
Yeah,
but saying that, I think I would have been tempted by the purple Quality Street because I don't know why, but I trust the Quality Street wrappers. They're quite sturdy and, like, yeah, I think nothing's getting in that.
Mikey once brought a cat home that had been squashed by a car on the street. Hey, we want a cat. I'll have that one.
Here we go. I did once find a full box of cigarettes, non-run over, as a small child, which was great fun.
Wow.
Did you enjoy them?
I instantly handed them over to my friend's mum. There's drugs on the floor.
Someone's been drugging.
The naughty death sticks. I gave it to my friend's mum, and she was over the moon.
I bet.
My friend just looked at me and shook his head like, "Oh, Mikey."
The one consolation, Ben, from the fact that, you know, you were a big boy and didn't pick up the Quality Street blowing in the wind is that it did give you the poetic phrase "Quality Street blowing in the wind."
Yeah,
I think it's a beautiful
sounds
phrase.
quite profound. I think I don't know what it means, but there's something there.
Only a real poet could come up with that.
My mind would be racing in that moment. I'd think, right, who's hiding in a bush with a camera waiting to record me?
Is it attached to a fishing rod? Am I on a prank show? Is Barney from Prank Patrol going to hop out with his ninjas?
Yeah, that would be my first thought. Maybe wait till it gets a safe distance and then grab it.
Absolutely. But, you know, I mean, the real benefit there is meeting Barney and the ninjas.
Yeah.
I've definitely said before, probably twice on the podcast, about the time I ate the gingerbread man from Halford's car park.
Yes, yeah, I remember. I remember being really proud of you and also a little bit jealous.
Yeah. Because I was really, really, really drunk. Well, I was almost post-drunk because I'd been being sick since 11 p.m. and it was like 3 a.m. at someone else's 21st. And there it was. And he was like, I want you to eat when you get in. I said, I'm not going to eat. And he says, well, you're going to eat this gingerbread man we've just found then.
Oh, I thought that you were saying the gingerbread man said that.
Yes.
I want you to eat.
I want you to eat me. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I suppose we should, do that thing.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podiots, the official Vidiots podcast. It's a conversational podcast where we take some questions from you at home and obey the law. Oh, my goodness, of the burps. Of the three.
It's because you just ate that Quality Street, isn't it?
You know what? I lied. I did eat the Quality Street.
Obey the law.
Well,
Paying for it
we
now.
obey the law of the three us, where everybody brings
A thing along to talk about.
I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Michael.
Hi, guys. How are we doing generally?
All three of us, I know, from having spoken to both of you and worked with one of you all day, all three of us are very tired and feeling a bit out of whack. So it's going to be a top-class episode.
I think so. I think the energy is going to be here.
So maybe like the delirium will kick in, and that's when the real magic happens.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent, at least personally. Like, all my best shit happens when I'm sleep deprived. Like every Vidiots merch ad, every bit of like every stream asset has been made at like 4 a.m. when I'm just literally throwing stuff on a canvas and going, yeah, that's great, I love that. And that's when it gets unhinged and great.
Yeah, it's when all the best Vidiots stuff was edited by Michael.
Yeah.
When I got myself
3
locked in the office and stayed overnight.
Just went absolutely fucking insane. Brilliant. Well, you know what? You could help us all with our sleep deprivation. This is a bad segue, but I'm just going to lean into it.
Yeah.
By donating to the war effort and allowing us to buy coffee and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Streamlabs.com/Podiots donations with an S on the end. If you donate £3 or more, you'll get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the podcast, and we'd be really, really appreciative of it. We have the first Pumpy Platoon up now, courtesy of Michael Johnson.
Yeah, darn tootin'. And we start with Booby Boba Booby Baby Babo Baby. Thank you very much. I think I nailed that one.
That was good.
Sir Captain Tom Birdseye, Tommy the Hank Engine, Peter Hassel in the Castle, Donak 07, Pet Shop Man, Can't Shack It, The Generous, Feed Me Kanye. Sorry, Jesus. Oh.
Feed me cake.
Feed me Kanye.
Feed Me Kanye. And they say, my partner runs an online survivor game via Discord known as Orgs, or Online Reality Games, where she runs a MIDI challenge where players have to guess the song. It was inspired by Podiots and the contestants find it hilarious, mostly. Cheers, boys. Oh, that was a good one. Enjoyed
That's
doing
lovely.
that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That sounds a lot of fun. Yeah. Good job. Good
I
job.
hope you told them about Podiots as well, please.
Yeah, tell your friends. Go on, that's the rule. Bartek B. Wellington, LB and Mikey Street Fight, Raindrop Joy, and David's Cooking My Son. Brilliant, thanks.
Okay.
Cool.
It's time for the tiny troop, whatever. I don't know.
That's it. That's what it says on my document.
Yeah, tiny troop. We've got Stephen Skodes, Freddie Weber is Meatface, Pro Trainer, Don Keydick. Okay, Don Keydick. Vidiots is not a cult, honest. Mr. Black, Booper Piss Healthcare. What's that one? Do you guys see what that is? Booper.
Well, we talked about Booper
We
last
did
time.
talk about Booper Healthcare. What's the Piss?
Boop.
Is it like Bopiss?
Boopum Piss.
Oh, yeah, Booper
Piss.
Piss.
I don't know. That's in any case. Thank you.
Please explain.
Yeah, in your next donation. The very, very generous Stoke Off Trent, who says, this is my way of saying thanks for helping me survive the worst job of my life, quitting soon to become a teacher. Excellent, glad to hear it. Been here a long time, but keep changing my name. I was once Mel Gibbon. You're the only ones who will read this name out loud on Twitch.
Stroke off Trent is what it
it's
says.
stroke off Trent.
Oh,
Well,
there you go.
there you go. We almost weren't the only people to read it out loud.
Sorry.
Whoops.
Thank you very much indeed, stroke off Trent. Sorry to hear your job's been
Thank
bad,
you.
but glad you're moving on.
Yeah, good luck.
Thing, her, but whole. Thanks, Brexit. And cools are 55 quid a gram.
Are we?
It's the cost of living crisis. Have you seen the price of coals lately? Really going up.
Too expensive. Now it's time for the fast crew. Big thank you to the very generous Magnus Did Nothing Wrong, who said, been here from the start of Vidiots, but first time don't know. Lots of love from down under. How are you staying on down there? How are you like clinging on?
Mad that. Everything's
Fall off
upside
the
down,
world.
isn't
It's
it?
crazy.
Don't you fall.
Thank you, though. Thank you very much. Chegvin Chegnason. Mr. Blobby becomes a bailiff. I would watch that episode.
That sounds incredible.
That does sound really good. Just banging on your door.
Mr. Blobby affects politics at a local level. I would love that. Hawkman105. Squishy and useless. Ben, please marry me. No. Again, I don't know who you are. Mr. Macca. Wrath you bastard. Just keep swimming, Ash. Linear Daddy Sean Combs. I think it's meant to be like Puff Daddy.
Linear Daddy.
Linear Daddy Sean Combs. And I think it's Coombs, isn't it?
I guess
it
so.
Puff
I'm
Daddy
not sure
Sean
what Puff
Coombs?
Daddy's name is.
Anyway, we've ended up with Linear Daddy Sean Combs, which I do like a lot. And Schindler's Lisp, thank you so much.
Oh,
That is
no.
your pod squad for this week. Remember, streamlabs.com/podiots. Donations, £3 or more to get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the podcast. I'm just checking the calendar quickly because this episode's due to come out on the 12th, right? 12th?
Yes.
Then we're going to record another one. So not next one, but the one after, there's a very good chance that we might all be together to celebrate a certain milestone. We'll be recording a Podiots in the flesh. We will announce it on social media, but if you wanted to mark such an occasion by being featured on Pod Squad, pay attention to our social media.
Damn right.
That is all I'll say. Michael Johnson, are you the question boy this week?
I am indeed question master for today. Could I tickle your fancy with a question, sirs?
You can tickle my fancy however you like, Mikey.
Oui. We start with a question from Always an Adventure Podcast at AAA_AlexSam on the Twitters. And they say, or they ask, given that energy costs are soaring, what revolutionary, self-sustaining power generation method would you come up with?
Ooh.
So this is relatable. This is for the people. This is a benefit of the nation. We're here today to solve a crisis. How the hell do we do this? I had the brainwave. I'm going to call it a brainwave because it is fucking genius. Candles, right? Problem with them is, you know, the wax has nowhere to go. So I propose you make a little candle, but at the bottom of the stand, it's got little holes in it for the wax to drip through. And you've got an extra long wick that carries on down the tube. And so as you burn the candle, the wax melts and goes down and essentially forms a new candle. And it repeats time and time again. And therefore, just for the price of a wick, you've got unlimited candle.
That's how it works, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Are you going to tell him or am I, Peter?
No, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, no, I don't dispute that. You might want to literally Google that word for word and see if such a thing already exists.
Wait, that's a lot of words. How do I Google this? Endless candle.
Just like a reversible, I'm fairly certain that you can get those. They don't last forever, obviously. But
wait, what? You can what? That already exists. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, why aren't we using them then? This is ridiculous.
I don't know, Michael. I don't know.
The answer's been on the shelves
The world
for years.
needs to hear about these. Why is no one talking about this?
Look at the picture. It works perfectly. Look, it's a whole new candle.
It's exactly the same amount of wax.
You get like
on
50
each side.
You get like 50 of those bad boys. Stick it around your water tank. Bam, you're sorted. Just for the price of like a new Bic lighter every week, you're sorted.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea, Michael, and more people need to hear about this candle.
Damn right.
I like that you came up with that as an invention all by yourself, thinking it was like Genius, which it is.
This is,
but it already
amazing.
exists.
It is genius. It is
Guys,
genius.
I've had an idea, and then it just describes the product that already exists.
I think that's the mark of a good idea. If someone else, if it's already on the market, I mean, it's just a shame I got there late, but maybe I'll rebrand it a bit. It could do with a bit of revamping.
I got this crazy idea for a rectangle that can hold loads of music, and you can like listen to it anywhere.
Whoa! How's it all fit in there?
I don't know. I haven't worked that out yet. That's for the scientists.
Well, I guess music's just like sound waves. It's just sound waves in a box in it, and sound waves aren't very big.
If you play the sounds at the rectangle, maybe they'll just it'll absorb it.
Like a sponge, if you just put music in it and squeeze it, it'll play the music back at you, right?
All at once, yeah.
I've got an idea for this button, just a big red button on a panel that when you press it, everyone who exists and everyone who will ever exist just lives in like perfect happiness and bliss, and like all the problems in the world get solved. I also haven't worked out how it works. That's for the scientists, but that's my idea.
For the scientists.
Yeah, just the fix it button.
Yeah.
It sounds like a hellscape, actually.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
A world where everyone is happy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just evolve into the mouse scenario, won't we? Where we'll just start eating each other and beating each other up.
Yeah.
Got a level with you guys. I sort of tuned out when Michael was reading the question, and I've desperately been trying to reverse engineer what the question is from your answers.
Right.
I'm
not going to tell you. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Okay, well, if I give my answer, my answer would be maybe just a donkey with a stick on its head, and there's a carrot just dangling in front, and then you just tie, like a dynamo or whatever it is to its back. Pretty sure that would also just go forever, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Donkeys do go forever.
Yeah. Hardy little things, aren't they?
I don't know why no one thought of that. Like, I've seen cartoons where that happens, but no one's bothered to give it a go in real life. So, that's what I'm going to do.
Whoa, maybe. What if you could attach like a motor to an office chair, and you power your laptop by spinning around on the chair at all times? So it's like it's foot powered. So I guess it's not totally foolproof, because you got to fuel yourself to fuel the laptop, but you have like a little laptop stand built into the chair, so you're just constantly kind of spinning around a little bit. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm full of good ideas today.
So this is an energy crisis thing, right? That's
it
what
is.
we're doing.
Well done.
Good.
Well done.
It was only after you talked about your fix everything button, Peter. I thought that was your answer to the question,
right?
And then I thought, I've really got the wrong end of the stick here.
No, I was just talking about inventions that it's for the scientists to work out.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, they'll sort that out. They'll get right on that. They got nothing else going on. How about? I mean, I'll just get this one out of the way. It's low hanging fruit. No one else has said it. We just sort of strap some sort of methane converter to Michael Johnson and laugh. And now my real suggestion, which is maybe we thoroughly invest in meat alternatives and lower them farty cow herd stocks, or maybe. Just maybe we start taxing corporations properly, and then they lower their emissions output, because as much as we are all guilted into turning off light switches, not that we shouldn't when we leave a room, our carbon footprint is absolutely nothing and will never be comparable to big corporations, and quite frankly that's bullshit. So maybe it's on them to fix it, maybe it's not on us.
Maybe those planes with no passengers on have to keep flying without anyone on it, just to reserve that airspace, right, Ben? That's
only reasonable, because the billionaires and the economy and so on.
Yeah,
take your TV off standby mode, all right? That's important.
That tiny LED, you just killed a fucking frog in the rainforest, you piece of shit.
It's your fault that frog died.
Its name was Froderick.
Yeah, and it had a wife and children, or a husband and children,
It adopted frog children from another family that Michael killed.
Yeah, those kids were also from a dead frog family, and they're just being passed from one parent to the next. The saddest frog babies are just these two sad tadpoles with bundles on their backs.
This is the biggest crisis in the world right now, guys.
Yeah.
So, we ask
orphaned
you all
frogs.
take it seriously, okay? Please.
I've got an idea that combines both of your answers, Ben, which is we can genuinely do something right by the planet, in that we could perhaps attach methane extractors to the asses of cows, maybe.
Yes.
There you go.
Just get them
Big
all
cow
wearing
nappies.
big cow nappies, like big sort of iron lung, whatever the opposite of an iron lung is, stick it to a cow's ass. And you have some tanks that you feed all the methane to, and then you do whatever it is that you do. Burn it, because that's good for the planet, isn't it? Burning methane.
Yeah. Makes it disappear, right?
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think that works.
Got an even better one for you.
Yeah.
7 jumpers.
Seven.
jumpers.
Everyone wears 7 jumpers.
Yeah, whatever it's called, just put on 7 jumpers.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Okay,
7.
but
though.
what
That's
about
the
your
number.
extremities? What about when you need to clean yourself?
7 gloves. 14 gloves.
14. You put more gloves on to wash. That's what you're suggesting. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah?
know. No? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm asking you. You're the scientist. Question mark.
I think we just don't worry about being stinky.
Well,
anymore.
true. Yeah. Because if we all just learn to accept each other's smells, we won't need a shower anymore. Bam, instant saving there. No more hot water.
And if you wear enough jumpers, the smell won't get through.
Yes.
Yeah, if you make
And
your
if it
base layer a
does,
bin bag,
more
it'll be fine.
jumpers. We just get bigger and bigger. Or, we could just all just stop caring because there's nothing that we can do.
Yeah, just
Right.
accept our fate.
Just accept it because the people who can affect real change aren't going to do anything.
Yeah.
No, not until they've made all their money that they can spend in a desolate hellscape of a planet.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be fine. We won't, but they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But of course, make sure you turn off the standby button on your TV, please.
Yeah.
All those frogs will die.
It's your fault, them frogs. You did that to them.
You did that to Froderick. How dare you?
Well, I think we've raised some truly innovative, individual, unique, spectacular solutions there to the climate problem. And
Yeah, I'd say so.
the question was energy bills, but we've really just gone above and beyond on that. So well done, one and all.
Thank you.
Would anybody like to present their thing?
Sure. Why not? I've had a little mini thing for a while. I mean, it's not always the size; it's what you do with it. But I have been wanting to bring this along for a while, and I thought it's not really. It won't fill enough of a slot. My little thing won't fill enough of a slot, is what I'm saying.
That's okay.
But I've got a little. This sort of leads into a slightly larger thing that I've since discovered on the internet. So this is from smartcitiesdive.com, written by Donnelly_B, and it's called "Riding an Escalator for the First Time." This has nothing to do with the YouTube videos you may have seen, where some people in Cameroon? Hang on, I'm gonna have to check this now. Yes, in Cameroon, a shopping mall was opened, and there are videos of people in Cameroon going on an escalator for the first time as fully grown adults and sort of falling and stuff, and it's all very slapstick funny, I'm sure.
Fair play to them, though. Like, imagine seeing one of them for the first time. Like, what the hell is this metal-toothed beast in front of me?
But no, this has nothing to do with that. This is literally the first escalator. So, on Wednesday, November the 16th, 1898, Harrods department store in London opened up the first escalator, or moving staircase as it was called, in England, the first one in England. The first escalator-like machine in the world had actually been patented many decades before in the US, but this was the first real application in England, and likely one of the first in the world. At the end of the 1800s, this was a big deal. Victorian England had never seen or experienced anything like this before, and people were genuinely concerned about its use. More specifically, people worried what such a rapid change in elevation would do to the body. It was believed that it could discombobulate your inner workings. People were unnerved. Which is why, when it was first introduced at Harrods, people were offered brandy and other substances at the top of the escalator in order to revive them after their ordeal. Riding an escalator was
Pretty sure you can run upstairs quicker than an escalator.
I know. You could run up, or run up a hill, but no, you need some brandy after your ordeal. I like as well the fact that even the people in charge of this escalator are saying, yeah, this is like a bad move. You shouldn't do this. If you're going to go up our escalator, we'll give you brandy at the top. But anyway, here it is. We've installed it. We've switched it on. up you come. So it says, riding an escalator was no small feat for these people. Now, to us today, this sounds ludicrous. Most of us probably ride a few escalators a day, it says here.
Yeah.
They're ubiquitous, it says. But I tell this story because I think it clearly underlines how disruptive the new and unknown can feel and how difficult it can be for us to accept sometimes. The article continues, but mainly I just liked the idea of people being offered brandy at the top of an escalator and thought, that's like a Podiots thing, but that's kind of it. So I was like, okay. And then I got thinking there about, well, there are lots of other things in history, aren't there, that when new technologies were introduced and, you know, people were worried about what it was going to do. I think I couldn't necessarily find a specific reference to this, but we've probably all heard that I think some of the first passenger trains, or like the first passenger trains to go at a certain speed, fences were put up on either side of the tracks so that people watching wouldn't see like the dead people inside the train going past them, on the off chance that people ended up dying. I've certainly heard that before, or like the windows were blacked out or something. But I since found this, which is very interesting. This is from atlasobscura.com. It's written by Joseph Hayes, and the article is called "The Victorian Belief that a Train Ride Could Cause Instant Insanity. Railway madmen were thought to be activated by the sounds and motion of train travel." So, Here we go. January 1865. The peace on a regular English train journey from Carnforth to Liverpool is shattered by one man's deranged laughter and erratic antics. Armed with a gun and attacking the windows to get to the other increasingly frightened passengers, he seems out of control. At the next train stop in Lancaster, the man suddenly becomes calm and serenity is returned. But as the train begins to roll again, his aggression returns. I don't know why this man wasn't taken off the train at Lancaster.
He's calmed down now. He can stay on. He's a good
Yeah,
lad.
he's calmed down. He's had his brandy, indeed. The motion of the train becomes the only means to gauge the man's behaviour. His mood changes from one stop to the next, twisting and turning with the carriage. The railway passenger prancing around with a pistol was by no means the strangest case of, quote, railway madness reported during the Victorian era in Britain. There seemed to be something about the railways that made people, particularly men, suffer mental anguish and unrest. As the railway grew more popular in the 1850s and 1860s, trains allowed travellers to move about with unprecedented speed and efficiency, cutting the length and time of travel drastically. But according to more fearful Victorians, these technological achievements came at considerable cost of mental health. As Edwin Fuller Torrey and Judy Miller wrote in The Invisible Plague, The Rise of Mental Illness from 1750 to present, trains were believed to injure the brain. In particular, the jarring motion of the train was alleged to unhinge the mind and either drive sane people mad or trigger violent outbursts from a latent lunatic. Mixed with the noise of the train car, it could, it was believed, shatter nerves. In the 1860s and 70s, reports began emerging of bizarre passenger behaviour on the railways. When seemingly sedate people boarded trains, they suddenly began behaving in socially unacceptable ways. One Scottish aristocrat if you want to get British about this, was reported to have ditched his clothes aboard a train before leaning out of the window ranting and raving. After he left the train, he suddenly recovered his composure. Regarding the specific type of mental condition believed to have been caused by the trains, Professor Amy Milne Smith, a cultural historian at Wilfrid Laurier University, notes that railway madmen would have all likely been seen to be suffering mania. Medical journals at the time were very concerned about how railway madmen could be detected and when their madness, could be detected when their madness might lie latent. So people were worried they were just stealth
their
madmen.
Madness would be unlocked.
Yeah, people just seemingly quote unquote normal, in probably in those terms of the day, people who would just suddenly crack on the train.
You jump on like a rickety old train, you get wobbly head syndrome, and it just unleashes something in you. Wow.
Not all goings on in the first and second class carriages involved eccentric rambling in the nude. Vicious attacks with knives and other weapons that could result in death were reported as well. The trains themselves were considered to be ridden with perilous conditions that endangered passengers. Confined carriages were locked for privacy reasons, meaning people were at risk of being trapped in small rooms with lunatics who were ready to snap at any minute. The lack of suitable onboard communications meant that if attacked by such a person, you couldn't easily call for help. The media did its part to whip up a frenzy over railway madness. One 1864 story, starkly titled "A Madman in a Railway Carriage," gleefully related how a burly sailor became incensed, flailing around in an erratic manner, first trying to climb out of the window and then swearing and shouting at the other occupants of the carriage and struggling with everyone. A superhuman strength gripped this aggressor, and 4 people were required to restrain him, and he had to be bound to a seat. The conflict was not over yet, though. When the sailor was released, he charged viciously at those who'd restrained him, and accusing them of stealing from him, it took railway officials and finally the police to subdue and arrest the sailor. The problem of railway madness did not just refer to those driven insane by the process of the journey. Another concern of the time was that the railway provided a swift and convenient getaway for patients who had escaped from the various mental health institutions throughout Great Britain. In 1845, Punch magazine published a cartoon showing train tracks leading to an asylum. The logistics of the railways dotted around the countryside meant that a, quote, mental patient could evade the staff and hop on the next train to freedom. Stories of maniacs and terror on the tracks terrified many and delighted others. So the article sort of continues for a while, but yeah, I just thought that was like, I've never heard of this, but apparently there was this whole fear that like gripped late sort of 19th century Britain, that not only were trains driving people mad, but also that there might be loads of scary, mental health patients out there who have escaped and hopped on a train and, zipped away. But this, I've never heard this at all.
I suppose it's the same. Have you seen the propaganda about when the electricity lines were first being installed and like everything dying around it?
Yes, there's like drawings of dead stuff and
death. The death wires.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Absolutely, people are just resistant to change, I guess, and technophobic to an extent.
I think it still stands today. You've seen the get off the metro now video, right?
Yeah,
it still happens today. I feel like every time I've had like a violent encounter, it's been on a train or a metro. Like personally, it does seem to have some weird energy around it. Where I've been
on
threatened
a bus sometimes.
Yeah, maybe it's just crappy public transport that just makes people angry. But
it could be that.
Yeah, that's the only place I've ever been like threatened to be kicked in was on a metro.
Oh my god,
what a treat!
Oh wow, it's fantastic.
There you go. Well,
thank you for that, Peter.
Be careful next time you're on a Virgin Rail train.
Yeah,
anything could happen. You could go mad.
Could go mental.
Absolutely mental, mate. Yeah. Thank you very much, Peter. Would you all like another question?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Let's go for Darius Owen Canning at Darius Canning on Twitter. Nice, a nice one here. Would you rather be a man in black or a Ghostbuster? I've got limited knowledge of both franchises, but
yeah, me too. Actually,
I'd rather be a man in black. I think, because they get cool weapons, they don't have to deal with the paranormal, and they hang out with aliens, and they know all this cool state secrets, and they get to wipe people's brains when they do bad stuff, which seems to be quite often. So I could pick up a purple Quality Street off the floor. Anyone who's around, beep, and that's it. They've forgotten everything. And Will Smith, renowned hitter of Chris Rock, gets to write a kick-ass theme song for you, and then it's remixed by Neil Cicierega into one of the greatest works of music of recent times.
Yeah,
Bees.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that's the Men in Black theme song.
What's it stand for? Bees.
Oh, shit, of course it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Wow, yeah.
But then he somehow manages to get the word bees out of Wiki Wiki Wow Wow West as well
Yeah.
in the following album. He'll still say bees in that one too.
Because the bees cannot be found. What is the name of the Neil Cicierega remix, please, Peter, for people to look up? For the is it just MIBs? What is it?
I think that one's called Vivid Memories Turn to Fantasies. I think that's the whole name of the song. But the
YouTube that. In fact, I'll stick it in the thread right now.
Okay, I think that's what it's called. I might just be called like Vivid Memories.
That whole trilogy of albums. God, if you've never listened to it before, listen to Mouth Moods, Mouth Sounds, and Mouth Silence. I think it's the last.
There's Mouth Dreams as well. Have you heard the fourth one?
Excuse me.
There's a fourth one.
What?
The fourth one.
Mouth Dreams.
What's that stand for? Bees.
So good. Wow, I didn't hear about Mouse Dreams. Whoa. Okay, I'm listening to that straight after this. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in the thread now on Twitter if people want to go listen to
Oh, we're
MIBs.
branching
it's just
out.
a mysterious bit.ly link that no one's going to click on.
There's also, you should definitely also listen to Wow Wow, which is the Wild Wild West one.
Wow. When you walk into the wow. Oh, it's great. It's so silly.
Be in distress. Oh, God, it's in my head now. I think, I'm gonna err on the side of Men in Black because, I mean, talking pug as well. That's pretty lit. And a little suit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it does.
What's
There
not
is a
to
talking
love?
Yes,
pug.
of course. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go first.
I was going to say you get to hang out with Tommy Lee Jones, Tommy Earl Jones, Tommy Jones,
Earl
Tim
B.
Tommy
Tommy
Lee
Jones.
Tom B. Jones,
Bees.
Mr. Jones, Tommy Lee, Tommy, James Earl Jones,
Tommy Lee Jones, I think.
Tommy Lee Jones.
I wondered where, because I was feeling Earl as well. I was like, why have we
Tommy
both
Lee
come up
Jones.
with Earl when it's Tommy Lee Jones?
It's Darth Vader. That's what we're thinking of.
James Lee Jones, that's the guy.
James Lee Tom.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's got to be Men in Black because it's a far more glamorous job. It's probably more dangerous than, I don't know. I mean, I'm not that familiar with Ghostbusters, so maybe that's just as life-threatening. But it's probably worth it for all the cool guns and cars and tech.
I feel like Ghostbusters is like the homebrew operation, and Men in Black's the government funded. Like, money's not an issue. Have whatever you want. But saying that, I would very much like to drive around the hearse, the modified Ghostbusters mobile. That'd be pretty lit. But beyond that, I don't know. You look at them. They're wearing jumpsuits, man. How can I respect a man in a jumpsuit?
Yeah, you've got to be in a suit.
Absolutely, so smart.
I'm just looking at pictures of Ghostbusters now. Oh, cute, aren't they?
Good theme song, though. Ghostbusters, must say.
True. Bustin' makes me feel good.
That's another Neil
That is
Cicierega.
Neil Cicierega.
Bustin'. It's great.
I think actually, I think Ghostbusters have heart and soul, but Men in Black have money, and I know where I'm going to go.
Yes, absolutely. Do you mind if I do my thing?
Oh, absolutely. Please, Ben.
You do mind?
I do absolutely mind.
I mind a lot, actually. Michael, I don't know if you've seen my tweet from last night.
Oh my God, banger. Yes.
Did you see it?
Yes. So good.
So I've got to recount this story. I was kind of hoping you hadn't seen it so I could get your real-time reaction to it, but that's fine.
But there is a second half to it that has been
more
kept
detail.
from me,
There's
from me
more
and
detail.
Mikey. Yeah.
So I'll play the audio over the microphone as well when it comes.
Okay.
But last night, because it's at the time of recording, it's Peter's birthday this week, we had a little office gathering to celebrate Peter's birthday, and we went to Lane 7 in Newcastle and had a lovely time. And on my way back afterwards, I got in the Uber. And the guy who was picking me up had a 5-star rating. And I thought, okay, well, I mean, it'll be a good ride. He's probably really polite. Maybe has some charging cables, might offer me a breath mint or something. Didn't think anything more of it. Got in and he was very nice. And he asked me lots of questions. You know, what have you been up to this evening? So I've been out for my friend's 30th. Like, oh, 30. I'm turning 40 next month. And I was like, oh, I'm turning 30 next month. And we bonded over that. And I was very charming. And I said, well, you don't look a day over 30. And he went, what? And that was cool. And that not awkward. And then he asked me what kind of music I like.
Oh.
And I thought, well, this is interesting. And I said, well, I don't know. This is like a 5-minute journey, by the way, back to my house. Rock music, I suppose. I was like, okay, I like some rock. I have my favorites. And then on the dashboard of his car, he had there's a little sort of dial thing in the middle, but they were clipped to almost the air vents on the dashboard. There were 2 little screens either side of this little circly thing that he had there. And he started scrolling, there was impossibly small text. He started just swiping up, all the way through these thousands of songs he's got there. He goes, I like this. And he starts playing Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name Of. And I was like, okay, yes. I'll nod politely along to this. This is accommodating. Thank you so much. He gets maybe 5 seconds in, taps a load of buttons on one of the small screens, and it goes, wah, 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 and he plays an air horn sound effect in the middle of Killing in the Name Of. And I was like, what is happening? So I took out my phone and started recording, at which point is when I got this recording, which I will play now for people who haven't checked Twitter. But this here we go. So,
sorry, Ben. I think me and Peter just sat politely through that.
Did it just cut out on Discord?
Yeah, okay, cancelled it for us.
It recorded on my microphone.
I wasn't going to say anything, but sure, yeah. I didn't hear a sound, but...
You guys have seen the video, you know. Yeah. So he smashes that air horn, and I start laughing. Then he presses another button, and disco lights come on in the car, and they're projected all over the ceiling, and I couldn't believe what was going on. He then swipes a few more things on his dashboard, and he starts going... He starts scratching on the disc. So and it's again, I just do not know how to react to what is happening. He then drives me the remaining minute to my flat. And then as he gets nearby, he then presses one after the other, several different sound effects. One which is the please fasten your seatbelts, you're in an airplane noise. Just goes boom. Right. And then he plays a sound effect which is him saying that, in an Eastern European accent, thank you so much for riding with Pavel today. I hope you've had a pleasant ride. And then another bing, please wait until the vehicle has stopped before you get out and have and then he goes pleasant evening, and and then he stopped and let me out, and I didn't know what to say. I just said thank you for the most amazing Uber ride of my entire life, and then I rated him 5 stars and I tipped him £2.
That is spectacular. I didn't realize it was a 5-minute journey. Wow.
He went all in. There is a reason this man has he's incredible. There's a reason this man has a 5-star rating.
People were talking about it in the office this morning. I think you'd just gone out of the room or something. And we were saying it's insane. And people saying why, what on earth was he doing that for? And it's because there are that many Uber drivers out there. You can't just be... At this stage, you can't just be a nice person. You have to have, as you say, bottled water and sweets.
Charging cables.
Red Starburst. Thank you very much.
That's not even Peter's Uber. He just saw it in there and got in.
And charging cables and stuff. And even then, you get a fair few Ubers like that. So at this point, you have to outdo everyone else by being a DJ, I guess. So I can see why he does it. He must get a lot of good ratings.
Oh, yeah. It's a surefire way to get tips. But
yeah,
that was my... It was... I'm still people were asking me questions in the morning, and I'm still processing it. I can't really believe that it actually happened. I was waiting ages for an Uber driver as well. I was told that there were no cars available a couple of times. And
there was some event had just finished. We should have left when you did, because 10
was it in the arena? I saw people queuing in when
Ubers. When
I Ubered across the bridge earlier.
And the metro was absolutely packed.
What are the chances of being connected to Pavel that evening?
Indeed.
And
did you favourite him?
Oh, can you do that?
I think you can do that, and you can like it sort of tries to match you with him again, like with certain drivers again.
Okay, I'll have a look in a second. If I can work out how to do that, I absolutely will, because he was...
I believe so. I might be making that up.
He was unbelievable, but he operates in the Newcastle area, so keep an eye out for Pavel. But that was... I'll put a link to the tweet in the link dump again, so people can find it. But absolute insanity. At Vidiots Official, by the way, on Twitter, if you want to see the thread of things that we're talking about.
Yes.
And that's my thing.
That's just incredible. That's like, I would never recover from that taxi ride. Like every taxi journey in the future would just pale in comparison. I wish I had my boy back. You're going to be hunting him down forever.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever do manage to get in a taxi with him again, like just take me around the city for like an hour.
Can you give me all the hits, all the classics, please? And I'm going to film it. I hope that's okay. I've had you before. You were amazing. I will tip you, I promise. Right, let's see if I can find him. Do ask another question though, Mikey, in the meantime.
Let's go for a fun one. Tommy the Wank Engine at Triglyceride on Twitter asks, if it came down to it, do you think you could win a fight against the common man or woman? Would Ben's speed help? Would Mikey whip out the skateboard in self-defense? Would Tiny Peter flip around like Yoda? So yes, let's just put yourselves in the scenario of a physical confrontation is imminent. What do you do? Do you think you could hold your own?
Just against the average Brit, maybe, or
just the most common average man. So maybe not someone particularly beefy, but yeah, just picture a Brit.
I don't know. I don't think I'd be very good in a fight, even with someone perhaps subpar. I mean, I say that to be fair. Like, I didn't fight at school at all. I never had like fights with people, and that's kind of partly what I base my thing. I was like, well, I've never fought people. And I'm also not particularly strong, especially like upper body. But that being said, me and my brother used to fight all the time. Like, and I don't just mean when we were like 10. I mean, like, we would just physically fight until we were like in our teens. And just because, as much as anything else, it seemed to become just a bit of a habit. Like, we'd sort of go home, we'd watch Raven, we'd have our tea, and then we'd have a fight. So it just became kind of part and parcel of a weekday evening. So I've probably got more experience than I give myself credit for. And he's quite tall as well. I mean, he might have been as tall then. I don't know at what point we stopped fighting each other, but he is now over 6 feet. So maybe at one point I was fighting a 6 foot man or, boy. So maybe I'd probably do better than I think I would, but I still don't think I'd win.
Yeah.
It's been too long since I fought anyone.
These reviews of the Uber driver, Ben.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
He's got a profile and he's written about himself and everything. I didn't want to interject, but I have a lot more Pavel information than I realised I had. I couldn't favorite him, sadly.
Didn't want to leave. Big up DJ Pavel.
The best Uber I've ever had. We love you.
Spill, is there much more spill? I want to know everything about this man.
You want to know he's written about himself.
Right.
I can tell you. He's got fun facts. Do you want to know fun facts about Pavel?
Definitely.
Okay,
please.
Hang on, let me just hop back in. Trips.
Hey, Raz, Uber drivers could have profiles like this. Wow.
You just never look at them. You just don't take the time to look.
No.
So his name is Pavel Henrique. If you see him, take his ride. He's a Uber Pro Platinum. I like meeting good people with good vibes. He knows English, Spanish, Polish, and German. Nice. He's got a 5-star rating. He's been driving for 3 years. Fun fact, I am also a lumberjack with a license to work in the forest on scaffolds. I am a passionate DJ and a certified dietitian, paying high taxes for my Uber job, every penny plus 25% input company tax, I think. Critically, constructively, these are the funny facts. That's what he's
so much to this guy.
God. He's fascinating.
He's a dietitian and a lumberjack.
Best taxi I've got in my life, mate. Haha, cheers. Amazing driver. There's just a lot like that. Thanks for a great trip. Didn't want to leave. Yeah, it's tons. He's a hero. I don't think I'll ever see him again, which is the saddest part.
Yeah.
Oh,
very sad.
Fingers crossed one day.
Brilliant.
Wow, what a man! What a man!
What a mighty good man. We're talking about beating people up.
Yeah. So let's just say someone was approaching our friend Pavel with their fists, and you've got to stand in.
Why are you
to
clenching
defend.
your fists? I've got to stand in.
Yeah, you're there. It's go time. This is it. Do you think you could take someone on?
I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I'd like to think I could de-escalate certain situations, and I don't think I would ever want to fight someone with the objective of hurting them or winning. But certainly, if it came to it, but I mean, there's some fucking jacked up orange blokes walking around Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
So you never fucking know. But I think in some situations, as long as it's not like a multi-person mugging, I would like to. And again, it's not something that I obsess or fantasize about, being this big strong boy beating up 20 people who are attacking me. But I'd like to think that if it was a one-on-one situation, I'd at least be able to maybe subdue someone or avoid a proper scrap. That would be my goal in that situation.
Yeah, I reckon you'd do pretty good.
I did judo for 1 year when I was 13, so I think I'll be okay.
Have you know, I'm a green belt.
I was not even that, so yes.
You got the skills. When I shaved my head on the stream and looked in the mirror, like the first thing that came in my head was like, I look like I could fight. This
guy fucks.
This guy fights. I think I'm one of the least confrontational people on this planet, in that I will avoid any kind of unnecessary interaction if I can, especially when it's someone aggressive. I'll just put my head down and walk away. Saying that, I really want to know how I'd hold up in a fight with no knowledge. I just think if there was like a sanctioned fight club that I could go to just to have a go. I mean, these things almost definitely exist, but I want no rules. Just meet up in a car park and beat someone for a bit and see what happens. I mean, almost definitely I'll be on the floor in about 10 seconds. But
just beat someone up for a bit, easy.
Yeah, why not? Easy, bit of fun. But I don't know. It's hard to say, because I guess when you're in the moment, it's just like every caveman instinct kicks in, and you just you're just like, got to survive, got to make hurt. Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I might see if there's some boxing classes nearby, so it's an outlet for this desire of, could I beat someone up? Oh, thank you very much, boys.
Thank you.
Would you like to hear my thing?
I would love
to.
It's a relatively girthy one, but it's a very good story. I think it's very much worth sharing, and it relates to something I think I can pretty much safely say everyone has had an interaction with, or at least is aware of it in their life. I'm talking about the good old sea monkeys. Did either of you ever have them as kids?
I think so.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were going to say semen, which was very
good old jizz.
Everyone's had an interaction at some point with jizz.
Your one's jizz.
I'll introduce you to jizz.
Yes, we had sea monkeys as children.
Yes, very underwhelming little creatures, right? Yeah. I'll go into the history of them and the wild story that it takes you on, but sea monkeys. I don't know what more to say about them. I guess I don't want to spoil anything in the story, so let's just go on. So, in 1957, by the way, this is oh god, what website is this from? Oh no, I need to give my sources. Mental Floss. I heard this is something like something gets brought up on podcasts every once in a while, but I found a really good write-up on Mental Floss of the whole history. I'm kind of giving an abridged version of it because it goes even deeper than what I'm sharing here.
Okay.
So, in 1957, a man named Harold von Braunhut walked into a pet store and noticed a bucket filled with brine shrimp, scientifically known as Artemia salina. And after some research, he discovered that they have some fascinating biological traits. It can exist in a state of suspended animation known as cryptobiosis, where living organisms shut down their metabolic processes in the absence of water, essentially making them very, very hardy, can dry up and then be brought back to life with a simple drop of water. It's quite magical. They can survive for years in their protective casing in the event of a lake drying up. But when you add water, their protective shells hatch, revealing a translucent creature born with only one eye. They develop two more upon reaching maturity and can breathe out of their feet, which I think is a key little fact. The males have tiny little whiskers under their chin, and females can self-fertilize eggs. To most people, the shrimp was simply just fish food. But to von Braunhut, they were a way to capture the imagination of children by selling what he termed a quote-unquote bowl full of happiness, which sounds more like the tagline to a bowl of cereal, to be honest, which is quite a gross thought.
Delicious brine shrimp eggs.
A bowl of cereal, a bowl full of happiness, delicious. If he could send the dehydrated eggs in the male, then have them come to life in water using his secret nutrient formula, he was certain kids would be amazed. But why did von Braunhut consider the secret world of shrimp so appealing? Maybe because he had a tendency to see the magic in the world. This was like a kind of crappy daytime TV documentary. Von Braunhut only saw the magic in the world. As a teenager, he performed illusions as the amazing Telepo. After dropping out of Columbia University, he became a talent manager for acts like Joseph Dunninger, a famous mentalist, and Henry Lamoth, who spent decades jumping from a platform 40 feet in the air and landing in a kiddie pool as shallow as 12 inches without killing himself, it clarifies. Just good.
Made a career of not killing himself.
Yeah. In other words, von Braunhut knew a good act when he saw one. Kids at that time were already fascinated by ant farms, and von Braunhut thought the Ursulina could be a brine gold mine. He spent years working in a barn on his property, assembling a mail order package that consisted of one packet to condition tap water, one packet of nutrients, including yeast and algae, and one packet of the shrimp eggs themselves. Owing to their amazing ability to emerge from something that looked like Kool-Aid powder, von Braunhut dubbed his product Instant Life and began approaching retailers in the early 60s with what he thought was a guaranteed hit. Sadly, it wasn't, because there was already something called Instant Fish.
No.
Oh, no.
That idea came from Whammo, the toy company responsible for the hula hoop, and had a very similar premise, only they were using a different sea creature for their Instant Life. But then von Braunhut had another idea. Instead of trying to convince executives, his shrimpies, it says here, is shrimpies a word? Sorry? Shrimpies. I've read this 3 times and I've never clocked the word shrimpies. Well done.
What's wrong, Ronald Coon?
Shrimpies.
Instead of trying to convince executives his shrimpies would be lucrative, he decided to aim his pitch directly at his target audience, impressionable children.
Yeah, fucking idiots.
Yeah, idiots. In 1962, taking out an ad in a comic book was an inexpensive way of getting your message out there in comparison to television commercials that major toy companies were using to advertise their goods. Von Braunhut went on an ad-buying spree, grabbing space in everything from Batman to Archie to romance titles. He didn't discriminate. At least not with the comics. That'll come back later.
Okay.
Okay.
And made his appeal to as many young readers as he could, using the time-tested method of selling straight-up crap to kids. According to von Braunhut, who wrote the Sea Monkey ads and the 32-page handbook that came with the kit, his little creatures were capable of all kinds of incredible things that were not all scientifically sound. He said they could be hypnotized. Brine shrimp would follow light around, but it's not exactly hypnosis. They'd obey commands. Aside from following light, sea monkeys have as much regard for instructions as cats. They pretty much do what they want. And dance. And they seem to like music, so yeah, whatever. We'll go with that one. And that's not all.
Still not all.
Shrimpies.
The shrimpies haven't been delivered yet.
Your brine will be with you in 7 days. Von Braunhut even said his sea monkeys could play baseball, race on a speedway kit, and rise from the dead, which, I mean, that last one it's kind of true. Not technically, but close enough. I'll give him that one. Von Braunhut later said the sea monkey ads appeared in 303 million copies of comics annually.
Wow.
It says here that number is probably an exaggeration, but with popular comics selling hundreds of thousands of copies a month, he had plenty of prospective buyers. He began getting 5 sacks of mail every day from customers who were now shelling out $1 for this secret society of shrimp. In the meantime, von Braunhut had become a mail order mogul, using a carnival barker approach to market an entire array of novelties. There were X-ray specs, which promised to let the wearer see through clothing. Young voyeurs were disappointed to find out they were really just glasses stuffed with bird feathers.
That is a scam artist right there.
Yeah, that's terrible. I really actually want to find a photo of these old X-ray specs now, see exactly what that looks like. Oh, it's just a band.
I love the complete lack of advertising standards, that he could just say, hey, buy sea monkeys, they can dance. And he can just make up, so they can play baseball, they can go on a speedway.
I think this used to be like, well, I think it's still a thing to an extent, but definitely back then it was just kind of like, you just advertise whatever the hell you want, and for the sake of $1, no one's going to come chase you down for it. It's just easy money.
Yeah.
But he didn't leave it just X-ray specs. He also had aqua specs, which promised to let you see right into water, eliminating glare. The trick, it was just tinted lenses. So, I mean, it technically worked, but not quite amazing. And then there were hypnospecs, which promised to put people under your control, but the spinning spirals on the lenses were more distracting than hypnotic. And he also, this is my favorite of the list, he also marketed crazy crabs, which were nothing more than a hermit crab shipped in a box.
Wow, that is crazy.
That's harrowing. God.
Sounds like the fish I ordered during quarantine.
Gee, I'm just picturing this man in his shed, surrounded by glasses, brine shrimp, and hermit crabs, shoving them in boxes. God. Oh, Jesus. But von Braunhut's real triumph, meaning the one thing that should have gotten him sued but didn't, was invisible goldfish, a kit that guaranteed a breed of fish you'd never be able to see. Kids who sent away for it got a fishbowl, some seaweed, and fish food, but no fish. That was it. It's kind of like pet rock to the nth degree. It's just, you want nothing, here you go. But none of it resonated quite like Sea Monkeys, which got another boost in the early 70s when a comic book artist named Joe Orlando drew the most famous Sea Monkeys advertisement ever, a depiction of an entire sea monkey family with human facial features. I think chances are you're quite familiar with it. It's that kind of haunting illustration that you see, I think, still today.
Yeah, I think so. I think we had that picture on our packet of sea monkeys.
If you see it,
I think it's in the thread now, maybe.
Oh, is it? Right.
Oh, nice. But there was a disclaimer. Caricatures shown not intended to depict Artemia Selena, but kids who are not known for reading the fine print were captivated. Thanks to von Braunhut's marketing techniques, sea monkeys were a certifiable sensation, one that made him a millionaire. And really, the idea of attempting to breed a master race of pet shrimp wasn't so far-fetched. After all, in the words of the Washington Post, von Braunhut was, quote-unquote, active in the anti-Semitic neo-Nazi right.
Oh boy.
Okay, here's the U-turn.
Are we going to get to those other comics he's been advertising in?
Oh, something of the sorts. Interesting and addendum on that. He was also Jewish, which is a real...
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So now we get into the dark side of sea monkeys, which is it's absolutely astounding.
Yeah, the Nazi side of sea monkeys.
Of course, you saw it coming, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere during his life, he added the von to his name, so it sounded more Germanic, according to a Daily Telegraph article. And then he invented the Kyoga Agent M5, a self-defense weapon von Braunhut began working on in the late 1960s. The Kyoga is an important part of sea monkey lore. In 1988, the Washington Post and the Spokane Spokesman Review published stories revealing that the weapon was being advertised as part of a fundraiser for Richard Butler, the leader of the Aryan nations who needed money to fight charges of sedition, the polite term for plotting to overthrow the government.
Oh, excellent. Like all those people that raided the Capitol.
Exactly, just like that. Get your brine shrimp in, boys, for fundraising.
Hypnospecs might be useful if you're trying to overthrow the government.
He didn't see anything. Ooh. Butler wrote that for each Kyogre his followers bought, the manufacturer, that would be von Braunhut, would pledge $25 to his legal fund. Butler, who was acquitted, called von Braunhut a longtime friend and a quote-unquote member of the Aryan race who has supported us quite a few years. Jesus Christ. According to news reports, von Braunhut had attended numerous Aryan nations gatherings, sometimes as a guest speaker, and sometimes as the honoured lighter of the Burning Cross. Isn't that cute? Jesus Christ. He was also leader of the Imperial Order of the Black Eagle, which was also affiliated with the Aryan nations. I don't know anything about that group, but just the name alone, it sounds pretty
sounds terrifying.
No. Even though they always suspected he was Jewish, the white supremacists didn't seem to care, probably because he was a generous donor. In 1985, it was reported that he lent a Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan named Dale Roush $12,000 to buy 83 illegal guns. And I just want to keep in the back of your head through all this, those sea monkeys, this is where his money was going. This is where his millions from these little brine shrimp funded fucking neo-Nazis. Jesus. Oh, man. Von Braunhut refused to comment on the allegations other than to tell the Seattle Times that, quote, it's very ominous, "You know what side I'm on." What does that mean? Stop it, God. But even with all this, sea monkeys continue to thrive. In fact, their highest profile project came not long after, in 1992, when Howie Mandel co-created, produced, and starred in a CBS Saturday morning live-action series titled The Amazing Live Sea Monkeys. The sea monkeys continue to sell to the general public too, going from one distributor to another. In 2000, the Los Angeles Times reported that a company called Educational Insights was distributing it under the exploratory division with the full knowledge of the allegations against von Braunhut. So, yes, it's not like it was a well-kept secret in the business. People knew what he's up to, but can't turn down that briny dollar, I guess. Company executives said they never asked him about the charges directly and didn't think he'd be the type of person to spread hate speech.
No.
What, the shrimp guy? You're talking about the shrimp guy? No, stop it.
Gonna fly, come on.
What, the guy who sends crabs in the post? No, he's a really decent fellow.
With the bird feather glasses. Nah, not this guy.
It's a bit weird, but Nazi, that's a stretch. Meanwhile, von Braunhut, who was also an ordained minister, it turns out, officiated over the funeral of Richard Butler's wife 1 month after signing his licensing deal with the company. He was also photographed wearing Aryan Nations lapel pins to planning board meetings in Charles County, Maryland, according to the Washington Post. And von Braunhut died 2003 at the age of 77, and his second wife, Yolanda Signorelli von Braunhut, replaced him as CEO of the company. And as far as I'm aware, I think she's not a Nazi. I feel like I can't say that for certain, considering the bloody roller coaster. We'll probably never know, while Harold Nathan Braunhut, born and raised Jewish, grew into Harold von Braunhut, who funded anti-Semitic groups and stood up for Hitler. We'll also never know why he saw a bucket of fish food and decided it would send him on a path to success. People, like sea monkeys, can be mysterious creatures.
No, but sea monkeys aren't Nazis, so let's not make such a flippant comparison there. Who was it? Who did that article again?
Let's see. Oh, where have you gone? That was written by Jake Rosson of Mental Floss.
Mental Floss. Come on, Mental Floss. Who knows
you
why
say
people
that.
are
Nazis,
racist?
like sea monkeys.
Oh, classic
you say that,
humans,
Ben,
yeah.
but I believe in the 5th Indiana Jones film that's coming up, the villain is a sea monkey.
Oh, well, then I take it all back.
Yeah.
I feel pretty silly now.
Oh, I really want to see an illustration like in the original sea monkey style of them wearing little nets.
Oh my God. Sounds like you got something you got to work on after this, Michael.
There you go, new merch coming at you fast.
Very important. Very important. Oh God, they'll definitely kick us off the network after that. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a one-way route to the streets.
Amazing.
Everyone knows that Nazis, if you desiccate a Nazi, they can remain unharmed for years and years, and you just add water again, and then
they spring back to life.
Well, thank you, Michael. That was an educational journey.
It was. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd heard that he was a Nazi, but I didn't realize just how far it went. Like, it wasn't just like, he quote unquote just had some views. Oh no, he was like a full on big old big boy
KKK member, and
burning the cross and all that.
Brilliant. What a guy.
Would you boys like a final question for the night?
Yes, please.
Go on then.
Got one from Sam Collins at Sam_Collins_96 on Twitter. And they say, with Paraboy predicting the atrocious and unforgivable Tesco meal deal going up in price, have any of you had any other poorly/well-aged things which you care to own up to? Or do you have any other predictions which we look back on in the future, which we can look back on in the future and blame you for? I think making poor predictions is maybe a rare occursion. So let's lean on the side of what terrible things you think are going to happen in the future, so we can be blamed for it.
Us specifically.
Well,
what regarding us?
Yeah. Well, you said that can be blamed on us. Is that what you said?
I guess like me
predicting.
True.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see.
So it's like, you did that. You said
you
it
did
came true
the bloody Tesco meal deal, didn't you, Johnson?
Yeah, I do feel bad about that one.
Well, between us, me and Ben did COVID.
Yeah, we did actually do COVID. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, not long before COVID, we did a main menu episode at my flat, and we had a frying pan that was full of oil, and then we were supposed to add sprigs of rosemary, but we only had ground rosemary. So we then sort of sprinkled ground rosemary in sort of a stick shape, as though it was a sprig. And as this pile of rosemary hit the oil, it started to spread out like a petri dish, like growing, when you see microbes grow in a petri dish at full speed, increased speed. And we sort of said to each other, this is like a pandemic waiting to happen. I say, this looks like a pandemic waiting to happen. And Ben says, yeah, this is the virus that will end the world or something. And I think within less than 12 months, maybe within 6 months, COVID-19 happened.
Wow, thanks, guys.
I did do that.
Cheers. I'm trying to remember. No, I don't. Maybe no. You definitely would have been in the office, but it was either like just before COVID became a thing, or just as it became a thing. Hat Films did a video where they like tested out hazmat suits and stuff.
Oh my god! Well, they're always predicting like celebrity deaths, aren't they?
Yeah.
They say whenever they talk about someone, they always end up dying within a few weeks.
Oh god.
I've said before that I predicted, or years before it was a popular thing, I did a remixed version of steamed hams.
Oh, wow.
No one it wasn't like a popular skit. Like if you'd ask people their favorite Simpsons stuff, it wasn't really one of the kind of mainstream Simpsons things at the time. When I used to do like remixed music, I just did the entire skit from start to finish to the beat of a drum, and I feel like I might still have it somewhere. I mentioned it on a podcast like last year or something, and said I would look for it, and I feel like it exists, but I don't know where. But yeah, that happened years and years before it was, a meme.
An innovator. Wow.
Yeah.
What else can possibly go wrong? What's beloved? What can be stripped from us at a moment's notice?
Well, it's not so much.
Fucking Elon Musk getting on Twitter. That's I got a DMCA strike yesterday on Twitter, so that's probably going to happen more and more. I don't know why I'm going to blame Elon Musk for that. He bought those shares and I got a strike. Coincidence?
Maybe not.
I think not.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily. I don't know if anyone will blame us for this after the fact, but we have been joking for pretty much our entire YouTube career now that Billy Ray Cyrus is going to get cancelled.
Oh god!
And when he does, we are going to have to rebrand Billy Ray Walrus. Like we've had conversations.
We've got like a plan B ready.
Yeah.
It's like how the royal family have got Operation whatever it's called, London Bridge, for when the Queen dies. They're all prepped. We know what we'll do when Billy Ray Cyrus gets cancelled.
Regardless of what your thoughts are on cancel culture or whatever you want to call it, but certainly there has been a real movement, and rightly so, in the past few years since Billy was born, Ray Walrus this is, to call out and sort of end the careers of monsters, basically, which is a.
And we're not saying Billy Ray Cyrus is one.
No, we aren't saying that. But from the very beginning, we were joking about the fact that Billy Ray Cyrus probably has a scandal pending, right? That's where that came from. And in the time since, the general public's opinion of people in the public eye who are monsters has become, I mean, let's just say the patience has gone down quite significantly. So if literally anything substantial came out about Billy Ray Cyrus, that prediction has come true. Perhaps, well, it's way more likely to come true than it would have been if we were still in the same sort of societal place that we were when Billy Ray Walrus was first born.
Yes. So somewhere there's a briefcase with 2 keys waiting for the DEFCON 5.
Yeah.
You just go in, turn the key at the same time, open it up, and there is Billy's replacement.
Yeah. There he is.
With a pre-written statement.
I am not Billy Ray Walrus. I am a difficult... Well, we've sort of retired Dick Mychenko now.
Yeah, sort of partially. Because he was apparently a bit problematic.
Oh, but we always knew that. But it was just when he died,
but then when he
just felt
died,
weird
people talked more about it as,
It felt weird
what about Cheggers?
Well, you know, I don't really know.
Shut up, Cheggers, you're dead. Why didn't you get the same
come after Cheggers or us. So we'll stop. We'll stop when we're told to stop.
Yeah.
I predict that Dave Benson Phillips will come after us, like legally. He will pursue us and get us a cease and desist, so we can't talk about him anymore, and we can't start every podcast with a photo of his face.
That's a horrifying prediction. I don't like that one.
Yeah, well, I hope that one doesn't come true, but if it does, at least
I've just
it's
realised
content.
This is the longest I think we've gone in a podcast without even mentioning Dave, right?
Yeah,
entirely possible.
That's the first.
I mean, we did post about him
Dave.
before we even started recording on Twitter, so we may not have
but that's essentially white noise at this point. This doesn't mean anything.
No. It's just a load of pixels that happen to look like Dave.
Yeah.
Just a loose resemblance to Dave.
Means nothing. I don't know. Have I got to make a bold prediction? Let's just go with the price of fuel and the energy bills are going to go up again.
Oh, don't!
Oh my
please.
God!
Yeah, all right, you want to blame me for that? You
that?
can. I don't want it to happen, but there's one. How much worse can the world get, really?
I'm going to go for a very. This was a slightly morbid one, but a specific prediction: June 8th, 2022, 3:02 p.m. Queen Elizabeth.
Oh my God!
Grows wings, yes, and goes and
goes back to her home planet.
Okay.
Mikey, if you're correct, you will probably be arrested.
Yeah, there's a good
They'll want to
chance.
know how you knew.
I'm coming for you, Liz. Watch it,
Diana for life.
That's all I'm going to say on that. If that comes true, I'm going to feel very bad and just probably delete all online presents.
I mean, the Queen doesn't survive 2022. I think we're all agreed on that generally, right?
Yeah.
Probably. She's really old. Like, there's nothing more to it than that. She's had one hell of a run, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll just let her enjoy her celebrations this year, and then can she just sit down, for God's sake?
Yeah.
Queen, please.
Take it easy, all right? Love you. You're getting on a bit. Just look, Deal or No Deal's on repeat on Channel 4. Go on, sit down.
Yeah.
I've got some crushed cigarettes and a purple quality streak she can have if she wants those. Peter doesn't have a Starburst because he ate it, so that's gone.
No, sorry, Your Majesty.
That's gone, unfortunately.
Terrible.
Wow. Well, what an episode. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We've got a couple of things to run through before we disappear. Mikey, there's some kind of store?
You're gosh darn right. If you head onto your web browser of choice and navigate on over to store.yogscast.com, you'll find a wonderful array of Yogscast greater universe-related goodies, including kind of a fun one at the minute. They've got a TTT-themed Easter egg, which is very cute. However, if you delve a little deeper, and go then scroll all the way to the bottom of the list of creators, you'll find our little corner of the store featuring hoodie, shirts, mugs, and that's all. Some lovely designs on display from I think like 3 different eras of Vidiots. One from early Vidiots, one from winding down Vidiots, and one from post Vidiots, I guess we'll call it. So you can really own a piece of history with these designs. They're all wonderful. Highly recommend the mugs. I think they're beautiful. The Podiots Legends design is still a firm favourite. No discount code still, so keep an eye on the Yogs Twitter if you want to, maybe get some money off or free shipping or something like that. That's store.yogscast.com.
Amazing. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all.com/Vidiots
official.
bit.ly/Vidiots official Discord. If you want to come hang out with like-minded Podiots listeners, go say hi. Twitch.tv also /Vidiots official. We stream there very occasionally. Thank you again to everyone who came to our charity stream the other month. It was a lot of fun. Raised a lot of money. Very, very nice indeed. Streamlabs.com /Podiots donations. If you donate £3 or more, you get a shout out at the beginning and the end of the show, and you join Pod Squad for that week's episode. Thank you so much to all of you who've done that for this week. We're going to run through them again right now.
Bobby, Boba, Booby, Baby, Babu, Baby. Sir Captain Tom Birdseye. Tommy the Hank Engine. Peter Hassel in the Castle. Don Atco 7. Pet Shop Man. Can't Shack It, The Generous, Feed Me Kanye, Bartek B. Wellington, LB and Mikey Street Fight, Raindrop Joy, David's Cooking My Son.
Also, Stephen Skodes, Freddie Weber is Meatface, Pro Trainer, Don Keydig, Vidiots is not a cult honest, Mr. Black, Boopa Piss Healthcare, Stroke Off Trent, who was very, very generous, Thing Her Butt Hole, Thanks Brexit, and Cools are 55 quid a gram.
The very generous Magnus Did Nothing Wrong, Chegvin Chegnason, Mr. Blobby Becomes a Bailiff, Hawkman 105, Squishy and Useless, Ben Please Marry Me, Mr. Macca, Ratthew Bastard, Just Keep Swimming Ash, Linear, Dady Sean Combs, and Schindler's List. Thank you so much. That is your Pod Squad for this week. Once again, streamlabs.com /Podiots donations. £3 or more to get a shout out. Peter, I don't suppose there was any stuff going out on Vidiots 4 years ago this fortnight.
There'll be loads of stuff. So, starting on March 30th, we had The Sims 3 Prove It Part 1. Where we played the game. Skyrim Zoo Chapter 5, Necromancing Queen. Memory Cards, April the 2nd, Hannah Montana, Lego Star Wars, other stuff. Podiots Episode 3, But With a Pigeon.
Oh.
Taking on Takeshi's Castle in Nippon Marathon's Lobster Mode. Was that an ad? No, it wasn't. I think we just got given a code for it.
Yeah.
There's no hashtag ad on it. Post Some Tat number 7, The Montana Motherload.
Oh, good. That's a good one. Is that the one with the thumbnail of like just surrounded by Montana
just two
stuff?
faces
in a cardboard box, I think.
That was a good one.
Worst Games Ever Game Selection, the 5th of April 2018. I love those. I've watched a few of those recently. Like, they're genuinely really good videos. It's just us spinning a bingo wheel, but they're really good.
Still coming, friend.
Prove It, The Sims 3 Part 2. Worst Games Ever Naughty Bear. In the Spotlight, A Way Out. Now. Good game. Skyrim Zoo Chapter 6, The King of Carrot Flowers. Memory Cards, April 9th. Hang on, I've overshot again. It's so easy to do that. I should have stopped on In the Spotlight, A Way Out. Forget Skyrim Zoo. Didn't happen.
That's
next time.
Bleeped by the Men in Black little bleeper device.
Well, actually, no. I'm being a fool because it's April 7th today, so I do need to carry on until the 12th of April. So I will carry on. In the Spotlight, A Way Out, Skyrim Zoo Chapter 6, Memory Cards, April 9th, Spider-Man, Mario Kart Wii, and Postal 2 are on that episode. Nice. L'Uomo di Milano, The Man from Milan, Part 1, Betrayal. That's the Milan Noir 3-parter that we did. Very good.
Classic.
I very vividly remember making a shit ton of spaghetti for that the night before.
Yes.
And then when I brought it in on the day, it was just a big solid
It
clump.
was a lot of spaghetti.
I didn't remember anyway that you made it the night before, but I suppose that makes sense. Like, you didn't just cook it in the office on the day. So, yeah. Post some tat number 8. Happy birthday, Tiny Peter. Oh, that's nice. Prove It, The Sims Part 3 live action challenge, where Hat Films came in and did. It was the only Prove It finale that was in 2 parts, actually.
Yeah.
So
much
Get
content.
to in a minute. So it was the live action challenge Part 1. Then it was Man of Milan Part 2, Redemption. I'll have to rewatch those at some point because they're very good too. Crash Team Racing Spinning Challenge, Piece of Cake, where Ben felt really ill spinning on a chair and then had to eat cake at the end. Prove It Sims live action challenge Part 2, where Hat Films come in and do some talking heads for us. And we're going up to... Yes, that's where we stop. Excellent.
Nice. That sounds like a pretty good week, actually, that one.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all good weeks.
They're
what
all
am I
good
saying?
weeks, even the ones at the end where there was nothing. All good weeks.
Yeah, top class content. Killer, not filler.
Killer, no filler at all.
Right.
Mikey, where can people find you on the internet?
At Parrot Boy on Twitter is the best place to keep up to date with my antics. I stream on occasion at just Parrot Boy on Twitch. No at. I am still very erratic with my streaming schedule, so best to follow me to keep up to date. Thank you. Keith.
Nice. Peter, where are we?
Hello, I'm Peter. I'm at that Peter Austin on Twitter and Instagram, and Ben is confused at confused_dude on just Twitter. But together we are making content over at Triple Jump. That's YouTube and Twitch. YouTube.com and twitch.tv/Team Triple Jump, where we do all kinds of things. We do live streams, we do list content, we do interesting shows, silly things, worst games ever, rules bosses over there. We've got 2 podcasts, so go and have a look at all that if you want.
Absolutely. And you do want that, so go and do it. Full stop.
You do, yeah.
Finally, why not leave us an iTunes review or a review/rating on your platform of choice? 5 stars, please. 5 stars. It helps.
Thank you.
Something to do with Al Gore's rhythms. Thank you so much for listening, all of you. Do we have a final question before we disappear off into the night?
What predictions do you have for this
Yeah,
year?
I was going to say that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's everyone get in on it.
Yeah, even though we're nearly
And
halfway.
if one of them ever comes true, like, send us a tweet and show us a screenshot of your comment.
Yeah, give us a kiss. Excellent. Thank you
Lovely.
so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Look after yourselves. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.